Kaboom. Yes, it is time for Horror and Coffee. I am your host, Ralph Perez, and I have my coffee. Because I am your host, Ralph Perez. Oh, snap, doesn't echo. And I know why. Because I didn't mute my second screen. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand by. You know how this is. Oh, man. Don't you love it when things are natural? This is Ralph Perez from Horror and Coffee. I'm drinking my coffee, Bustelo, because I'm Puerto Rican. Deal with it. And I see a lot of people in the chat. Tony Movie Chap, how are you? Jose, the wrestling fan, love you guys. Crystal's here. Lenore is here. Lenore, I see you. Lenore, I see you. Steven Navarra is here. I got these people are rolling in right now. This is awesome. I appreciate all of you. And thank you for this special edition of Horror and Coffee. This is indeed a live stream. If you catch the replay, then it's a replay for you. Tonight, oh yeah, by the way, if you're interested in this channel, you like horror, you like coffee, please consider subscribing. Tap on that bell for future notifications for future horror and coffee content. And click on the like button. I like likes because they're likable. So, I'm going to get distracted into the chat. Stop. Okay. I have a very, very special guest, as you all know. And if you don't know, I'm going to bring her into the chat right now. And will you all please welcome one of the stars of the horror films Terrifier and Terrifier 2. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Samantha Scaffidi into the chat.
Hello.
There she is.
How
are you, Samantha? How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me on. I don't have coffee, but I have tea.
She has tea.
It's a little too late for me.
No, it's fine. So it's horror and tea.
Yeah, we could pretend. We could use our imagination that this is,
the horror and tea. Yeah, you can. Let's pretend it's coffee and stuff. Do you drink coffee at least?
Love coffee.
Huh?
I said love coffee.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
I do a latte right now, but sometimes I just do it black. But right now I like go through phases, and right now I'm just in the latte mode. But I usually just do it in the morning. Otherwise, I will not be asleep tonight. So.
That's fair.
I don't know how you do it, but
you know what it is with me. I've been drinking coffee since I was like 5.
Okay.
My grandmother used to give it, so it doesn't do anything for me. People are like, doesn't that keep you up? I'm like, nope.
No, it probably calms you. It's like sugar with me. If I have like sugar or chocolate, I'm good. I can go to sleep.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it does something differently to me that it would not do to other people. Other people get all like riled up, but I love it. I love the coffee, and I love that you're having tea because you know how to take care of yourself, and that's a good thing.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you're trying. Of course you
little by little.
Now, actually, what's funny, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into the questions, Samantha, here's the narrative or the story. I actually met Samantha in Brooklyn Horror Con over a year ago. There was a horror convention in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Navy Yard, and I even did a video for it, and I have it in my thing if you ever want to look at it at some point. And that's when we first met, and we were talking. And the big thing that I remember the most out of that, Samantha, was when I was looking at sweaters and shirts at a nearby thing, and all of a sudden there you were looking.
Oh.
You were shopping too. You were like,
oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. You were like looking around for the stuff. I was like, "What are you looking for?" And I don't know.
That's the best part of the horror cons is when you get to go around to all the booths and see what they're selling.
Word. I agree. It's great. But we kept in touch via Instagram all this time. So about a month or two ago, I mustered up the courage to be like, Samantha, do you want to be on my? Do you want me to? Can I interview you? You see, I couldn't even say it right because I was all messed up. And she was like, okay. And I was like, oh snap! All right. So it worked. So that was great, and I'm so grateful for your presence here tonight.
I'm extremely grateful that you invited me on. It is an honor.
Oh, thank you. Here's another thing. we were talking before we went on the air real quick to kind of cover things, and I learned something. Samantha here has some Bronx, New York roots.
Oh yeah. So strong Bronx, New York roots.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Those of you who live in the Bronx,
Yeah.
right? You know who I'm talking about. You said your parents were from here?
Yeah, well, when my family came over from Italy, they all came to the Bronx. So my grandparents were born there, my parents were born there. And then my family moved to New York, and then we eventually moved to Connecticut, where I was born.
Yeah.
But I would go every holiday or to visit my grandparents. We'd always go to the Bronx. So it's and whenever because I love where I grew up, but I always
Yeah.
tell people I'm from Connecticut, but my family's from the Bronx because I feel like I have more pride with that than I do being born in
Hey.
Connecticut for some reason.
Yeah.
But
Well, Connecticut's a big state.
yeah, it's I don't know. My vibe is more the Bronx because that's like my family. My parents are we lived in Connecticut, but my parents are like, they're neighborhood kids.
There you
Like,
go.
yeah.
I know the feeling.
They're from the block.
They're from the block.
Exactly.
They'd be hanging. I used to hang out like at front of my grandmother's house until 1 a.m. in
Oh
my
yeah,
teen
Scoops.
years when
Oh.
it was safer. Okay, so here you go. First of all, you do a lot of things. You're an actress. You're a director and a producer, right? And a writer.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So
many things.
which is good. That is so awesome that you could do all of these things. What do you believe to be your influences to get yourself into acting? Like, who influenced you for that?
Oof. Well, I was always drawn to acting, and I grew up watching movies like, Goodfellas, Godfather, all the like those Italian American hits. But
Okay.
and My Cousin Vinny and all that. But
My cousin, the youths.
the youths,
The youths.
my biological clock. But I think like definitely growing up, it was Pacino, it was De Niro, Marissa Tomei I loved. But then I don't know. I was always drawn to acting, even though my family's not from the business. Like I don't
Right.
have any family in film or actors or anything like that. They're actually, jokingly enough, they're all lawyers. So I'm like the Marissa Tomei of like lawyers. So like my father's a lawyer, my brother's a lawyer, my brother's a lawyer, everyone's a fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
So I was always drawn to acting, and then I would watch those films and other films, and something always kept pulling me there. So when I went to college for business, because I thought that's what I had to do, I like took a theater course. I had been taking like little theater things along the way, and then I went to acting school, and then I was exposed to like John Cassavetes and Jenna Rollins and all these like kind of independent amazing artists, and then that kind of got me into it even more.
That is great. My daughters are into acting, believe it or not. Both of them. I don't know if I
God
mentioned
bless them.
Huh? Yeah. What's amazing is that they both had a history of doing acting ensembles off Broadway for the last few years. Yeah, and they love that kind of stuff.
Oh, they're doing better than I did. I'm like, keep going.
Well,
that's brilliant.
You've gone at you're well, they're still little, so let them, when they get older, I hope they do find it, especially my younger one. She's really into this stuff. She's doing her own like script writing and playwriting and stuff.
Amazing.
Like that
that's beautiful.
She's so creative, like it's ridiculous. I love her to death. Love them both to death.
That's amazing that you support them.
Oh yeah,
in that, because I mean, I had a very supportive family with my trajectory, but it's really nice to hear when kids' parents are actually really supportive in those specific fields, because those are really tough fields.
Those are tough fields, and they know they're wise enough to understand the pros and cons of that and what to do. So I think that and you're God bless you, man. You've really hit it hard with these movies. Now, with Terrifier, like this is a horror channel, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But I read somewhere, and please correct me if it's inaccurate, that when you were first introduced to the story and the concept of Terrifier, the first one, you weren't too keen on it. You're like, oh, wait a minute, it's a horror thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you want to elaborate a little on
Yeah,
that?
well, it's funny because I said someone asked me what my initial reaction to it was, and I was like, "Oh, I thought the scripts were grotesque," and then all of a sudden it was
Mm,
like, Terrifier star says and what the truth was is that I had it was like I think it was at a point in my career where I didn't understand as an actor like different types of genres because I didn't grow up like my family didn't really watch horror films, so it wasn't like I was like born into that kind of
right.
world, and that I didn't have that appreciation yet that I do now. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of the appreciation came from like Terrifier and then like meeting all the fans and kind of seeing it through other people's eyes.
Right. Right.
But I didn't really have an appreciation. So when I read it, I didn't understand what I was reading. All I read was like just like such explicit violence. And I remember at that point getting out of school,
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like
bad.
I was like a dramatic actress, and I was then reading the stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I can get behind the violence, like just for violence sake. And then I met Damien, and then I was like, oh, it's slasher, and there's a genre, and these things have their place and are just as important storytelling for so many people. So that was like kind of, I mean, when you read these scripts as you've seen these movies,
Right.
they're brutal. So yeah, so my reaction was like,
Yeah. When I first saw it, I showed it to my daughter. She's a horror fan, my younger one.
oh, how old are you?
How old is she?
Yeah, when she saw it.
15.
Oh,
15.
okay, you're right.
No, 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 no. You thought I was going to say 4 or something? No.
Well, some people have been showing. It's not. Listen, I've met some people on the horror con circuit, and they're like 6. My 6-year-old. I'm like,
I mean, like, are you crazy?
I'm like, no judgment, but my
No
gosh,
judgment. No
yeah,
judgment. You're not crazy. We're all
yeah,
crazy to some
yeah.
level.
It's
But
true.
when I showed my daughter, she likes horror. I've kind of like schooled her into it the last few years. But when she saw that scene,
Oh,
you see, all I have to do is say that, and you know
yeah.
what I speak
Well,
of.
you're saying Terrifier 1, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know, and I know what you would say for the second film too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that one might be a little trickier because there was a lot of oh my gods in that one.
I know, but there was one.
Uh, okay, maybe
Well,
maybe
like,
it's
there was
that.
one
I
that,
don't
like,
know.
no, they're all pretty brutal, but there was one that I feel like took the cake on that. But wait, so she saw it? How did she react?
she her mouth dropped open and it wouldn't close for like 10 minutes.
Oh god. And she's okay?
She's
She's
fine. She's
recovered?
fine. I
Okay.
just showed her the second one just the other day.
And was she more prepared?
She dropped her mouth too.
Yeah. Like all of us, even me after I've seen it like several times, I'm still like,
Yeah, it's yeah, like it's I never seen. Let me tell you, Damien Leon is quite a visionary,
yeah, he's a
right?
boundary pusher. He's a visionary, he's a creative genius, he's a boundary pusher. He's all of it.
He pushed it. He pushed the level. Like he really pushed it and made people go, "Oh snap, this is real."
Yeah. Hmm.
Um. Okay. So here's the thing about Terrifier. Based on the end, I'm not going to give away anything for Terrifier 2 because it's still a fairly new movie. I actually saw it in the theater with my co-founder of Horror and Coffee, Vic. I don't know where he's probably going to watch the replay, but we went to see it and we came out of the theater like, what the hell did we just watch? Like it was like, oh my god, and it was just crazy. And we were like, no wonder it wasn't rated. It was only in select theaters. They were playing it in the AMC in Harlem. That's where we
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, oh my god, what's gonna happen here? We left the theater like just bugging out at how crazy it was. Like it went to another level.
Mm.
Like at the end of the first one, I could tell that Art the Clown was a supernatural being, not just a physical nut job.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Mhm.
and like for real, he made like it go, yo, chill, man,
Mhm. Mhm.
chill.
All the killers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so um but when this movie Terrifier 2 definitely brought out this idea that okay, we're dealing with not just the physical realm here, there is something more transcendent going
Mm.
on.
Mhm.
And then and again, I'm not giving anything away, but for those of you who haven't seen it yet, don't leave the theater or do not press that stop button when the credits start rolling, because there's an end credit scene.
Oh, so
that
is this a no spoiler stream? I just want to know so I don't say anything.
For the first one, it's all spoiler. For the second
Okay.
one,
No, okay, I'll shut. Okay, good to know. I'm glad we talked about that.
yeah, I didn't bring it up. I'm sorry. But Robert Makes the Cut is saying that he loves Terrifier 2. Of course you do, Robert. Of course you do.
It's wild.
Man, it's wild.
Yeah.
But the idea is that is there a way you can describe that post-credit scene in Terrifier 2 without giving so much away?
Well, I feel like now they know where my scene is. Is that
Well, that's part of it, but
yeah, okay.
but the
Sort
idea is,
of yeah, sort of
but
spoiler.
it bugged me out. It bugged me out. I was like,
Yeah.
what was that?
I know it's funny. It's funny because well, the thing is that I guess that we can sort of say is that
Yeah,
that's when I come in, because there's
yeah.
because obviously I'm in the first film, and then the second one there's a whole completely different storyline and
Right,
characters,
right.
and then everyone's kind of and I have appearances earlier on, but
Hmm.
when Vicky makes her return, it's in the mid credit scene at the end, and then something wild happens. But I all I can say is that when I was doing it, and even afterwards, it didn't really like hit me how outrageous it was.
It was
And
outrageous.
but until people started to tell me that, like that was insane, and like it just as wild as those earlier scenes that I thought. I like still didn't process it. Now I'm like, and then I think Howard Stern was talking about that specific scene,
Hmm.
and I was like, that was the scene he decided to talk about on his on this interview that he was doing,
Yeah.
and that was wild to me. So it's outrageous enough, that I kind of make my way back into the film, and then because I make my way back in, it sets up the third film.
The
But I
third.
don't know. Do you want me to give anything more away than that?
No,
It's
no,
just
no. That was perfect, actually. That was
okay.
absolutely perfect. Because
Like,
now people are going like this. Okay, I haven't seen this movie yet, but I gotta see that end credit scene she was just talking about right now. Like so.
yeah,
So that's a
because it will
good
kind of
thing.
it will set the foundation for the third.
It obviously will. Like that.
Yeah,
That convinced me that there would be a third. I didn't know there was going to be a third until after I saw the second one.
yeah, yeah.
So
He wrote the second one with the third in mind. So he's
with the
setting
third
up
in mind.
he's setting up a lot of even the characters in the second one too. He's setting up for the because it's a big arc.
I think that arc just got a lot bigger after I saw
Yeah,
all of that. Let me tell you.
yeah,
The
yeah.
idea, though, that bugs me out is that okay? You were a big part of the first film, not so much in the second. You were there, but
Mhm.
there was a smaller role because there were other people that were like taking on more of the lead.
Yeah.
But are we going to see more of you in the third one?
Yeah, I would say it sets up the third because I think, and I didn't actually know this until I was on an interview the other day with David, where I guess Damien was saying how he always wished he could develop my character more, but just because of the first film and not a lot of money, not a lot of time, and also having like small crews, things kind of give. But
Right,
but the beautiful thing is because of the second mid credit scene, it sets up this trajectory for my character because I mean, in the first one, you see me as like the final girl and the
yeah,
person who survived, but then I go and I kill someone, so I descend into some state of madness.
madness. Yes.
Yeah, so it's
Madness.
kind of cool and exciting because for my character, and I'm not going to give anything away about what
No.
happens in the second one, but something happens that's even more insane
Word.
potentially than the first one,
Yeah.
and I think it's like this trajectory with my character where it's she was good, she descended to madness, and then the question is like how far does she go, and is
Right.
there still a bit of her left, some of that light.
I
So
know, right? It's like Luke
yeah,
Skywalker. There's good in you still, Father. I don't know if you
yeah,
know Star
yeah,
Wars,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
you
no,
know,
yeah, yeah, totally, yeah, yeah,
Crystal Bradshaw here says she can't wait. She can't wait for
oh,
Terrifier 3, so she can't wait for it.
yeah.
Um, and I have Robert Makes the Cut saying David Howard Thornton and Catherine Coran. I'm terrible with names.
Corcoran.
Okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
Catherine. Oh, are they in LA?
They're gonna be in LA
Oh,
on the 12th because Robert is in Cali, so he knows
oh,
this stuff. Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, someone asked if I was doing a LA show, and I said when they invite me, I'll definitely go to LA. I
nice.
was like,
Yeah.
definitely. But oh, that's exciting. They're David and Catherine are amazing. Like literally, amazing actors and amazing people.
um, now besides Terrifier 3, is there any? And you did another horror movie. I just
Yeah, a
found
long
out.
time ago when I was really young, in my
No,
early
no, no.
20s.
It was called shoot, I forgot the name. Dang, my bad.
Demon Hole?
Huh?
Demon Hole?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was like I think I shot that before I shot Terrifier.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'm like I don't even remember when that was, but
So,
yeah, it was.
so you weren't really into the whole horror thing, but you got a little horror thing going on
Well,
there too, right?
it's funny. It's like saying it wasn't I wasn't into it because I was still watching. Like I grew up and I watched the Scream franchise. I watched like Rosemary's Baby. I watched It. Like I'd seen horror films and I always loved like a. I think it was like I was always a fan when I wanted to be scared of a horror film. But now with Terrifier and then like I said, going to the cons and meeting the fans and like hearing people through like explain why they love the genre so much, it's kind of opening up my perception. And then ironically I just directed a short film that's a psychological horror. So there's like Demon Hole, there's Terrifier, then this film I just directed. And I have such an appreciation for horror. I think it's one of the hardest things to direct. So
Nice.
I'm like, I totally am like in it now. Like, I mean, it's not the only thing that I do, and it won't be
No,
the
of
only thing
course
I
not.
do.
Yeah, yeah.
But I absolutely, I'm in awe of the genre. I think it's a really powerful one and a really um, difficult craft to like, and which is also what's exciting about acting in it and also directing in it.
You know, I've always found hard to be a hit or miss depending on the project because it's such a hybrid in a sense.
Mhm.
I've always looked
Mhm.
at it as such because you either get the living daylight scared out of you or you walk out of the theater like, oh, that was garbage, and some people think that way. I've done it.
Oh, I mean, I listen, the more I act and the more I direct, I like it humbles you because you're like, because I mean, we all are judge, and like when I was in
Mhm.
acting school, I'd be like, oh, that performance, and now I'm like, experiencing it myself, and I'm like, man, you really give everything you have to give everything that you have, and sometimes it hits and sometimes it misses, and that's part of the journey. Is like is like failing and succeeding. So I just appreciate people who go out and do it now, and maybe that's because I'm trying to go out and do it. So I'm like
Well,
setting myself up to be, not destroyed by people, but
no, I don't see that happening with you because one of the wonderful things that I see with people like you, Samantha, is that you're horror. You're okay, fine. You did Terrifier, and okay, there's horror stuff here, but you're more than that. You're more than that, and I
I
see it.
appreciate that.
Yeah, because of all the other stuff you do and everything. Um, and let's see who else. Let me see who's talking in the Lenore
Yes,
is
yes, I
is
love
creep
that.
into the top 5 horror villains.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, yeah,
David
yeah.
Howard Thornton does an insane job, and Art the Clown, created by Damon, is like he created something.
He really did. And you know what I
Mm.
like about it? He doesn't utter a peep,
I know,
not a
which is
sound.
what's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
he would make Michael Myers hiccup
Yeah.
because he doesn't talk either. That's how silent he is in
Mhm.
everything. That even when he gets stabbed or cut and all that, he'd be like,
I know it's so good, and David is so good with that physical body work. Like
mm-hmm.
it's so good.
The
The blend of
mannerisms.
horror and comedy. It's just like you just doesn't get better than that,
Oh my
and
god,
creepier than that.
creepy as heck, man. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, that is just some crazy. Um, so all right, be, before I move on, I want to also address. I'm gonna go back and forth between the horror movies and other stuff. I read somewhere that you did a documentary or short film documentary about the Women's March in 2017. Is that true?
Yeah, I did. It was when I started toying around with the idea of wanting to make my own films, and
Okay.
I just remember I knew the march was happening, and I had a network at that point of
Okay.
friends and filmmakers. So I messaged my friend who's a cinematographer, and I said, hey, if I got us to the march, and I got us the camera, I just want to be there, and I want to be a part of history, and I don't necessarily know what we're gonna make and what we're gonna see, and we may never put it out there, but just like to be a part of that and have a voice in it, I think was really important at the time. And so
Is it
we
out
went out.
there?
Yeah, we went. That was like the first film I did. It's on my like Vimeo. It's like a
Okay.
little 2 minute,
Okay.
like, just we had found really beautiful footage and made a film of it just to capture, I think, the emotion of what it felt like to be at that march.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Um,
All right. Good.
but it was just like my first initial into when I still didn't necessarily know this new vocation that now I'm in, but directing. But but yeah, I went. It was a self-funded, perpetuated
Very awesome.
project. Yeah.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what's called independent filmmakers.
Yeah.
Support
Very
them.
independent.
Very
Very,
independent.
very
I know a
independent.
couple myself. So,
Yeah.
and now I know
Yeah.
Samantha here. So, amongst others.
Still independent, still scraping
But that
together
is
to
good
keep
because you have
making
more.
things.
Yeah, you have more
Yeah.
creative control.
Totally. And it gives you the peace of mind to know that, that it's done when you're done with it, that you don't have to, necessarily go to anyone to get approval. You can kind of take the time you need to take to really find the project. It
Exactly.
buys you time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what's also amazing about it is that, like you said earlier, through the ups and downs, through failures and successes and stuff, both of those things help develop your character over
Totally.
time.
Totally.
And that's a wonderful thing. That's always a wonderful and comforting thought. Crystal
Yeah.
here is saying my 17th birthday. She's young. Oh my God, you child,
Oh,
go do your homework. I'm kidding. I'm messing
nice.
with you. Okay. My 17th birthday is coming up in 9 days. I'm meeting Lauren Lavera in Florida.
Oh, Lauren, she's great. Lauren's
Yeah.
amazing.
You met
Yeah.
her.
Me?
I presume you met her.
Oh my God, Lauren's amazing. I have this story that we didn't have any scenes together, but the day that I had like 2 days on Terrifier 2, and I love telling this just because this is where I was like, Lauren is it.
Mm, she
She
was.
wasn't even shooting this day. And if you knew, which people do know, how long it took for them to make that film, and knew how long those days were, and knew kind of just how much work it took for her, and a lot of the actors, but specifically her, how much she gave. She actually showed up on a day she wasn't filming to help out, and that was the day that I was shooting. And I remember being like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I came to help, and I'm here to support." I'm like, that like to me that was I was like, that is a testament to her as a human being and a character, and she like. And then I saw the film, and I was like, I remember DMing Lauren, and I was like, "You destroyed it!" Like I can't speak more highly of how she carried that film. I mean, that's not an easy feat. So
Yeah.
like, she's not only acting and doing an amazing job, but she's also showing up and on days in which she doesn't have to be there. Like that to me was like,
Amazing. Yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah.
maybe I'll meet her in a in a horror convention one day, like I did you.
Definitely, I'm sure you will. I'm sure that,
Yeah.
like I feel like they're doing a lot of the cons right now. So
Oh, hold up.
definitely.
Okay. I know this one here. Hi, Sam and Rav. Rav, let Sam know about the show's episode I did with you. She may like it.
Oh, amazing.
I'm trying to remember that episode. Yeah. I
You'll have to
can't
send it to
remember.
me.
Yeah, I'll find it and send it to you. Oh, I know who this is. I'm sorry. I know her by another name. We've done shows together lately. I'll send you the links to them.
Amazing.
She's great. Another Bronxite, believe it or not.
Woo!
I call
Love
her
it.
my horror pal gal. That's what I call
Yes.
her.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's Mari for you. So Damian Leon is also a makeup artist.
Mhm.
Mm.
Special effects.
Practical effects, big
Mhm.
time. And and that's one of the things I really like about these films, that they were really stripped down with that.
Mhm.
We've lived in a world of CGI and everything CGI this, but when it comes to this kind of horror, this kind of stuff, you
Yeah.
got to go with the practical.
Yeah.
I've always believed that. You endured a certain amount of time having this face that was at the end of the first film.
Yeah.
I have nothing. I have no problem giving this away because it's the first film.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's all over the internet.
It's all over the internet. You're a mangled
hashtag
mess.
my name. I don't have a face anymore. It's literally
You don't have a face. You're the faceless woman. You know.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. And well, how long did it take for him to put that on you? My God.
You know, it's funny. David and I were talking about it the other day, and I keep being afraid to say I was in the makeup chair longer than him, but we've both agreed that now it takes longer for me to do the makeup. But that's also because they have David's down to a science, but also David's done that thing well over 60 times, and I've only had to do it probably 4 or 5 times.
Oh, okay.
So I can't complain. It takes like 2 hours, maybe, you know, or maybe a little bit longer, which isn't so bad compared to some people's makeup. But
you don't,
and then an hour-ish to come out of it, but yeah.
You know, it's dag, Robert, you just put a monkey wrench in the whole thing. This just happened. Breaking news. Christy Alley passed away at 71. Really, dude? God rest her soul.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I got thrown off by that. I was like
my Catholic came in me for a second. I was like,
I'm Catholic too. I get. Mira.
Yeah.
Got the rosary.
Italian American from the Bronx. It's like embedded in me, even if I'm.
Hey, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. All the Catholics in the house say, "Huh?" Okay. All right. All right. So, and you have a website, right? I know you have a website.
Yeah.
What's
I have I have a website. Just it's like a landing page, but it's just one page. It's just my name.com, SamanthaScaffidi.com.
Okay, cool. I'll put the link below when I'm done with this and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm gonna, since you do have, before I move on to the next thing, I want to throw some questions your way that are trivia questions.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Oh yeah, I'm
really bad sometimes at like thinking. Okay.
No. Yeah. I want to understand. I want to get to know more of the mind.
Okay. Love it.
Samantha Scaffidi here by asking certain pop culture reference questions.
Oh God.
Some of it is hard, some of it is not.
I'm probably not gonna know any of these. Okay.
You might not. And but I'm not gonna
Oh God, now I'm like, am I gonna fail this?
No, it's not a test. I promise.
Okay.
Lenore's got she's Catholic too. She just whipped out the little crosses. All right. Awesome. So, all right. First question. Maybe I should put a timer on this at least. 10 seconds. I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right. Ready? Oh, it's only 5. It's only 5 for like.
Okay.
I got you. Don't worry. You're good. First question is, what the... You're probably going to be like, I didn't see that. That's happened to me. That's why I know. First question. What does Laurie Strode... You know who that is, right?
I know the name.
Let me
memory. Can I just say? I'll say one thing. I have a horrible memory. So
me too.
Sometimes you have to give me like a few pieces, and I'll go, "Oh my God, yeah." Because
let me finish the question.
Doctors told me I had a hypermetabolic hippocampus, so I have a medical a medical certificate that says I have a horrible memory.
Is that what's on the wall back there? Anyway, no.
Yeah, literally, it's literally. I'm like, this is my father, this is my mother, this is their name.
This is my certificate, right?
Yeah, literally. I was like, I did graduate college. Oh God.
Oh,
it's snap. It's terrible.
It's okay. All right. Let me finish the questions so you can get a better context. What does Laurie Strode use to hurt Michael Myers when she's trapped in the closet in the first Halloween movie?
Oh, scissors?
Nope, sorry. Oh, but you were close.
What was it?
It wasn't in the closet. It was actually, she was using a needle thread thing. She used a coat hanger and she poked him in the eye.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fail all these horror film
That's
references. But keep going.
okay. Remember when we spoke about horror
Yeah.
failures and successes earlier?
Listen,
It,
now I'm gonna you're gonna set me on a path where I like watch every single horror film now in history, and just so I'm prepared, and
well,
then
I
I'll
don't
forget
have
all of
every.
them.
Well,
So it's fine.
thank goodness I don't have all of
Yeah.
them here. I only have a couple. Um. Okay. Now this is not the next one. Is not a Jay. Jay. What? Wait. No. What? Jay. Chicken wings. Jay. Really? She did not use chicken wings. Jay. I love Jay.
That would have
Jay's
been
like a brother
delicious
to me.
though.
He's like, yeah.
If only. I want to see that one.
Which one?
I said I want to see that movie where he's using chicken wings.
Yeah. The chicken wing killer.
Mm.
Okay. So the next. Okay. God. I'm geeking out here, so forgive me. I if anything, I can help you with this question. What are the
Please
three
do. I'll
main
probably need it.
colors? Huh?
I said I'll probably need help, but continue.
No, I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you cheat. I
Yeah,
mean, get the
perfect.
answers right.
Yeah, love it.
What are the three main? What are the three main colors of a Jedi's lightsaber?
Oh, blue, red, white.
You were so close.
Wait, time out. Don't tell me. Was it purple?
There was a purple one.
Yeah, I know because it was Samuel Jackson's. Wasn't
Right,
his purple?
exactly.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
was purple.
Okay, see, I do know some stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm
But
like
you
patting
did
myself
forget
on the back for
green.
that. Green? Was it green? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was
It's
like
got
red and green. I'm like, that feels too Christmassy. I like
no.
second guessed that. Yeah,
Th-
okay.
No, there was a green one. Qui-Gon Jinn had one. Luke Skywalker had one. Return of the Jedi, and
Yeah.
Yoda had
Well, I remember Samuel Jackson's purple, so that's all.
Listen, everybody remembers Samuel Jackson's
Yeah.
purple because he
Yeah.
requested it to be that color.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's one of those.
Okay, I didn't get the whole thing right, but at least I I
No,
knew
that's
something.
good. Very good.
I'm
Hey,
just proud of myself. I'm just like trying to make myself feel
pat
better about the
yourself on
other
the
question.
back. I got
Yeah.
you. Don't worry. You got you.
Okay,
You got this.
beautiful.
You got
All right,
this.
next one. Let's go.
What does? Okay, this one.
Oh God,
this one you should know. This one you should definitely know.
no
What
pressure.
And this is a little bit of a spoiler for the second film, which is fine. It's not a big spoiler, so it's like who cares?
Oh God, the Terrifier.
Yeah.
You know I watched the whole movie like this, right?
Okay, well maybe you caught this
Okay.
part.
Okay.
All right. And if
Yeah,
you
I'm
didn't,
ready.
that's okay.
I can't wait. David's gonna be very upset with me, but continue.
No. It's a very simple little thing. David, please be nice. Okay, it's a very simple thing. What does Art the Clown use to intimidate Sienna in the Halloween shop in Terrifier 2?
Oh, it's a horn. Yeah.
You see?
I know. I just was worried you're gonna be like, what exact weapon goes into the temple of the? And I was like, my eyes were closed during that. So.
No, I wasn't gonna use. I don't even remember specifically. All I saw was red, and more red. It's like I even forgot what he used. He used so many.
I think I blacked out during one part. Maybe I fainted like everyone else in the theater.
Oh my God, you heard about that, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what what helped make it go viral was all the crazy stories. But
we found that Victor and I found out about that when we left the theater, and some guy came out. Yo, people throwing up, man. I was like, really?
Yeah, I have one of those. They actually gave me a vomit bag that they were passing out, so I got to keep one.
For real?
Yeah.
It's the official Terrifier vomit bag. Get one online on Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are reselling them.
I'm not sponsoring Amazon on Horror and Coffee. That just for the record for all of you people out there. All right. So what's funny? The last time I heard of that kind of stuff happening to people in a movie theater was The Exorcist back in 1973.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was a marketing ploy, but honestly, it wasn't. I mean. People. I mean, but then you see the film and you're like, "There's no way that some people didn't vomit and pass out." Because I almost hyperventilated and I knew it happened during that film. So, yeah.
God, I'm telling you, these movies are hardcore. Crystal has a question: will Samantha ever come to Florida
for HorrorCon?
Like
Yeah, definitely. If they,
figure.
if I always say if they invite me and I'm available, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So Crystal, stay tuned. All right, here's speaking of The Exorcist, that's the next question. I got two more questions and we're done with that, and then I'm gonna go into something else real quick. What is the name of the demon in The Exorcist?
Oh,
Mm.
I've actually seen The Exorcist, like a
Huh?
good Catholic. I said I've seen The Exorcist, like a good Catholic.
What Catholic hasn't?
I know, well, yeah, what it scared the hell out of me. I actually don't know the answer to that, but I know once you say it, I will.
Pazuzu.
Maybe I wouldn't have known that.
A lot of
Maybe
people
not.
don't, believe it or not. What's funny is that it was revealed in the second film, which
Mm,
nobody remembers because it was horrible.
no.
Exorcist 2, The Heretic. Yeah, you see.
Yeah. Okay, then I definitely didn't know that. Never mind.
It's actually mentioned in the William Peter Blatty novel that the movie was
Oh.
based on. So it actually comes from that. That's its
Some
origin.
reason I'm like, oh, I want to read that. I'm like, I don't want to read that actually. I don't want to
No,
like
uh,
have nightmares.
uh, let me tell you, I first saw that movie when I was 12.
Oh no, but especially growing up Catholic.
I wasn't hardcore Catholic growing up. I
Yeah.
became a little. I became more hardcore in my later years, but
Yeah.
at that time, I was just traumatized, man. I just
Yeah, of
couldn't.
course. It's like, oof.
I couldn't
Anyway.
sleep that night. I was a hot mess. I,
It's
I
disturbing.
needed
Just
therapy.
very disturbing.
It is, you know. I've done many things on that in the past. All right, final question.
Mhm.
All right, you see, you like this. I know. I could
Of
tell by
course I
you.
like it. It's fun. Like I feel like a kid again. I'm like,
All
how
right,
many am I gonna get wrong?
all right. That who knows? Well, there's only one left. What is Darth Vader's real name?
Oh, I don't know that. You're gonna
Mm.
say it, I'm gonna know it, but
I know.
and then you can't tell me.
Ah!
Tell me, just tell me.
Anakin
Oh
Skywalker.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
there it is.
The I knew that. Yeah. I told you,
Anakin.
horrible memory. Once you say it, I'll be honest, because I didn't know the demon one, but once you said it, I was like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I'm terrible with names.
Mhm.
I'm terrible with names. I'm always like, whenever I'm doing a review of a movie here, or I have to write it down on the side so I could be like, it was directed by, like I
Yeah.
have to.
No, I literally all those pictures have names under them. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Oh, Alex, why are all these questions go Ralph like? Come on, Alex, leave me alone. Alex, let me tell you something about Alex. Alex is my brother from another mother.
Mm,
He is a he has his own channel called Geeks and Flicks, and they
mm,
talk about all kinds of stuff, like not just horror, but action movies and sci-fi and Marvel and
yeah.
everything under the sun, right?
Mhm,
Um, and I'm a host. I'm not a host, but I've been a guest on his stuff. He's been a guest on my stuff. We
mm.
collaborate, we work together. So this is Alex picking on me right
I love
here,
it. Well,
right
that's
now.
true love is when you're like picking on each other.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, always.
saying.
Yeah.
Freaking A. And they know. Alex knows what's up, guys. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, questions I like. Let me tell you about what I like. All right. I like what a lot of people like. For all you people out there, all right?
Well, the what you like is it's good.
Oh,
Those are some great films.
don't forget about Halloween 2. Yes. Halloween 2 is my favorite all-time Halloween film.
Okay.
The one from 1980 or 81.
I have definitely seen it, but I probably saw it when I was in my teens, and I have no recollection, and now I need to rewatch.
I've seen it so many times over the years that Alex and Alex is saying hello,
Hello,
Samantha.
hello, hello, Alex.
you know, so that is awesome. Um, all right, I already asked you this. What? Let me ask you. Let me ask the same kind of question in a different kind of perspective. Terrifier 3,
Mhm.
right? Is it's? I presume it's going to be starting to be shot at some point. On right? Is it soon? Like this year, next year?
I have no idea, honestly.
Okay,
None of us know. I know that David's a very one of probably the busiest men right now
of
in
course, yeah.
in film.
Mhm.
But I know he's working really hard to get the script written. He has the outline. I think he's told people, but he hasn't written it yet. And then I know
Ha-
he has a lot of other projects kind of on the horizon. So we shall
Very good.
see.
Oh yeah,
We shall see.
that is awesome. Um, anything we without spoiling, obviously. I mean, maybe you already have a concept of it. We did kind of like graze on it a little bit earlier, but anything we should expect without giving anything away from Terrifier 3 coming up?
More violence and more gore and more blood and more kills and
And more of
Damien
this, more of this,
somehow blowing our minds. Yeah,
more of
with
this,
how far he pushes the third after the second and more of this.
more of
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
People are gonna, and more of my
You
daughter's
definitely
mouth
expect
dropping.
all those things. Yeah.
That is
And like
great.
you said, Vicky coming back and of course Art the clown and you'll see a few other characters that come back.
Nice. I almost gave something away. Oh, I'm yeah. I need to. It's my rule too, and I almost broke my own rule. Alex wants to ask you this, Samantha. What do you prefer, directing or acting? It's a good question.
Oh, it's such a hard question to answer. I love acting so much. I really do. It's like there's nothing like it. But there's something very different about directing and I write and direct, so to like write and that process and to bring it to life is and to work with people and I get to weirdly when I'm directing I get to act also because I'm sometimes using myself with the actors,
Right.
to help them with the performance. So it like directing utilizes like all of my favorite kind of things, but they're so different. It's hard to. I hope that like because right now I'm focused mainly on directing in that path because it seems to be
Very
the
good.
most viable one,
Yeah.
um, and the most exciting one. But I hope that I get to do both. You know,
Awesome.
I, every year.
um, Jay here has asked any Christmas horror movies you like.
Hmm. I feel like. Can you name a few and I'll tell you if I like them?
Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas, Krampus. Those are the three
I
that
don't
pop
think
out of
I've
my
ever
head.
really seen a horror Christmas movie.
Oh, they're out there. They're out there.
Well, then
It-
I need to tap that that area of horror
I
because
per, in my in my personal experience of seeing these films, I haven't seen Krampus, admittingly, but I saw the other two. I
yeah.
love Black Christmas. First of all, it's an old film. It's from 1973, four, or something like that.
Okay, okay.
And it stars Olivia Hussey and a young Margaret Kidder. So
Ooh, okay,
so it's
okay. So
real
Krampus and what's another
Black
one?
Christmas.
Black Christmas. Okay,
Yeah, and Silent Night, Deadly Night. That came out in the 80s, I think. So,
okay. I feel like if I have those names, then that will start me on a good path.
all right. Wow, people are starting to roll out the questions. How difficult is it to direct yourself? Because you've directed some of the stuff you've been in, right?
I try to not put myself in my own films just because I find that it's extremely difficult to do both really well just because you're always splitting your attention and directing for me is like full on. I did put myself in that in a short film just because it just the actress who was a really good friend of mine I ended up not being able to do it so I had taken over it but it was also I wasn't really saying any lines and
Is it what we mentioned before going on the line? Because
yeah
that's the
yeah
next
yeah
topic I want
yeah
to bring up. Actually,
yeah
there's this amazing Lenore. Actually, was the one who said, "Hey, she made this," and she sent me.
Mm.
So she was the one who actually.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the films are hidden over the internet everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh snap! I didn't know about this one." The things we left unsaid. It's called. It's very like. Let me give you my sense of it when I saw
Mm,
it. It was very to me very emotionally driven.
mm,
Um,
definitely.
but yet at the same time, it doesn't reveal a lot,
Mm,
right? Um, but I appreciated that because it kind of left me wondering what the action was because there's characters in there that okay one person admits to something another person's mad at another this is kind of
yeah.
like the similar narrative in any film really but it's
Yeah.
really concentrated in 8
Yeah.
minutes um but I thought that was great because it gave me as a viewer a little bit of power to
Yeah.
kind of like come with my own conclusions and my own thoughts about what happened to those people in
Yeah.
that 8-minute film. Was
Mm-hmm.
that on purpose, Samantha?
You know what? How it started, that film was, it was during the pandemic, and it was right around the time that it was when we filmed that, when it was opened up, in like 2 years into the pandemic. So it wasn't. But I remember during the pandemic, I was saying how I really wanted to go back to the basics and work with actors, just an actor in a room with me and the cinematographer, and that be it. Because I had gotten a little bit used to being on bigger sets,
Yeah.
and I kind of wanted to go back to the bare bones of it all and just be creative. And I had written these monologues that this idea kept coming into my head, which was the things that we don't say to each other. And I used to do these letters, whether it was to a parent or an ex or a friend, where you'd have all this stuff to say, but you weren't courageous enough at that time, or it didn't feel right enough at that time to say those things.
Huh.
So I basically had written all these. I took some of my letters or a monologue that I had written that was something that was really honest, but I never shared. So
Right.
over time, I collected these, and then I wondered, were there things that other people also had of their own that they didn't share? And if you don't get specific enough, do the letter that I wrote to my friend or my father, does it hit some truth in someone else? Like, it was very experimental. So when I shot these things separately, I kind of fused them together into this short film, just to kind of have it be a cohesive piece. And more of it's like a very much an experimental film of, like, do we connect? Can we connect to all the characters? Do they feel like they're related, or are they not related? Because sometimes it feels like this person's talking about this person, he's talking about this person. So it was just kind of like to see, if I could be specific enough, but not specific enough that the audience could have their own experience and connect to certain parts, maybe more than others. So that was
Excellent.
very experimental. No, there's no story really. It's not gonna be like a beginning, middle, to end, rising, falling action, anything like that. But yeah.
Which is what I liked about it, actually, because you kind of like, I didn't look at it from that light, and now you say it like that. I'm like,
Mm,
yeah, I could see it like that too. Like,
yeah.
these are the things, and the title says it. The title of the piece says it.
Mm,
We all have said these things, all of
mm,
us, at some
yeah.
point in our lives. You said exes and relatives and friends and whatever.
Yeah.
Things we should have said. What could I have said?
Yeah.
If I had another chance, would I
Yeah.
say it? It,
Yeah.
it leaves these questions running.
And how so many different people from different backgrounds, different genders can experience these emotions, and yet we all can connect to some degree on those emotions and those thoughts and feelings. Underneath all of these identities that we have, is there some sort of core experience that we all can connect and relate to? Was the kind of what I was experimenting with. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Um, Alex here is saying she's right. There are a few that can pull off directing and acting. Mel Gibson, Stallone, and
Oh
Clinton.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
That
I
was from
probably will
earlier.
put myself in a film at some point, but right now I feel like I'm still trying to hone the craft of directing. So I'm like, and I have so many talented friends that I'm kind of like excited by seeing them in front of the camera.
Now you said that you were working on you worked or did a horror film, directed a small one.
I wrote and directed a short psychological horror, which I'm like so terrified to say these on the horror cons, because if it's terrible, everyone's gonna be brutal. But
It's not out yet.
no, we're editing it right now.
Nice.
It's a psychological horror, and I
I
wrote
love
it
that.
and I just directed it, and now we're editing it.
Nice. Oh
Yeah,
boy. You see, I really want to see that one.
I
I
do
really.
too. One day,
I made it, but okay.
one day we'll be finished.
Yeah, well, oh man. Okay, so you know what? I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Again, Samantha, I want to express my gratitude and my deepest thanks for having you take some time out of your very busy, hectic schedule. I'm sure you have so much going on, to just come on and share with myself and the other people here on this that are on this stream, on this channel, about come on, Frankie, I'm trying to finish here. So, what is more hardcore, Terrifier or the Human Centipede Part 2? Your opinion, Ralph. Okay. Have
I
you
haven't
seen that?
seen.
You know what
I
I speak
haven't. No, I haven't seen the second one. I know of the first one. Love it.
It
Love it.
disturbed the living daylights out of me. I was like, oh no, I can't do that. You know what? I'll tell you this. I don't know how to answer that question, Frankie, but I will tell you this. I could see the Human Centipede. I've seen part 1 and 2, but for me, they're one and dones. Like, they're not movies I want to run back to.
Mm,
I can run back to Terrifier
mm.
again and again. I can watch
I'm
those.
wondering why it's so bad. I mean, like, so
No,
that you don't want to run back to it. Like, not bad. I mean, like, it must be like shocking to some degree.
it is.
Yeah. I'm curious now, and I don't know if I want to see it, but I'm
Oh
also
no,
like,
no. If you think you think that vomit bag you were talking about earlier. Okay. Let me
okay,
just say.
I'm gonna
I'm
go
just
to
saying.
Horror Christmas movies are on my list.
Yeah, horror Christmas. There you go. Stick to the horror Christmas.
Yeah.
That's better. That's better. You'll be better off there. Black Christmas, definitely. Again, thank you, Samantha, for your time.
Oh.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
No, thank
you.
you for having me on. I really appreciate it. This is so much fun.
Oh, I'm
I'm
glad.
terrible at trivia, but I'm glad to know that.
It's fine. It's fine. It was just something to, like, break some, to smooth out things in between.
I love it.
questions
It
and
was
stuff.
fun.
Yeah, you got to make it. You got to have variety there.
Yeah.
For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. Tap on that bell for future horror notifications for future horror and coffee content. I drink coffee. Samantha drinks tea. She drinks
And
coffee in the morning. In the morning,
Yeah,
she
there you
drinks.
go. Now we're in
There you go.
sync.
All right. And with that, I have a good night, everybody. All right. So I'm ending it here. And until next time. Oh, by the way, next week, Nate from Alex's friend, partner in crime from Geeks and Flicks will be joining me next week on the 14th for the top 5 horror films of 2022 and the bottom 3.
Mm.
So we'll talk. I'll give you all that information. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Lenore. Thank you, Crystal, Stephen, Frankie, Mari, and Alex. Thank you so much, guys. You are awesome. Jay, thank you so much. I'm trying to say goodbye to everyone because I'm too damn nice.
No, it's amazing. Yes.
I got to stop that shit. Take care, everybody. Until next time. Say bye-bye, Samantha.
Bye.
All right. Let me just end that broadcast right there.